All right. Well, it wasn't the most exciting game. There wasn't a whole lot of intrigue coming into it because Houston had lost 15 in a row, other than the intrigue of the Celtics potentially embarrassing themselves. But after the first few minutes of the Celtics sort of dicking around and figuring out who exactly they are playing, because they certainly didn't recognize any of the players on the court in Houston, the Celtics dominated from there on after, and it was not a close game for 90% of it. But the show must go on, and I'm here from my unofficial downstairs studio as I am coming from a secondary location, secret location. Um, Not really secret. I was just watching with masks with a friend, so that's why I'm delayed. But I still watch the game, and I'm here to break it all down for you. All the excitement that a 134 to 107 victory, and it wasn't even that close, can offer. A game that we saw a full quarter, basically, of Taco Fall. How often can you say that? Not very often. I did, because I am a very, very loyal Celtics fan, and I'm loyal to my viewers, watch the whole game. I did not tap out, as many people probably did when the Celtics were up by 36 at one point. And let me tell you, you found out nothing from this game. If you are a Celtics fan, which I am, though sometimes it might not seem like it because I crap on the team all the time, but they deserve it this year. You really can't take away anything from this game because the opponent you played is so bad. I mean, just so bad. Look at the guys that the Rockets played tonight and tell me, unless you're related to them or just an NBA junkie, how many of them you actually know or have some sort of familiarity with. Here's their starting lineup tonight. Deshaun Tate, who is a 25-year-old rookie. Justin Patton, Victor Oladipo. Okay, Victor Oladipo, everybody knows, but he's not going to be on that team for long. He's either going to get traded or leave in the offseason. Don't worry about it. Sterling Brown, some people might know from the Bucks, more so because he had an incident with the Milwaukee police, and that makes it seem like it was his fault. It was the Milwaukee police who did something to him. He didn't do anything wrong, but that's what he's most well known for. Kevin Porter Jr., guy was traded this year from the Cavs and has some upside, but is definitely a guy who's had some problems in the locker room. And then here's who they had off the bench. Anthony Lamb, Kenyon Martin Jr., you know his dad. You can't honestly tell me you know anything about him. David Nwaba, Mason Jones, Ben McLemore. Okay, you might know Ben McLemore because he was a high thought of prospect a couple of years ago. That's who played for Houston tonight. And so with a roster like that, who by my calculation, the tallest guy on the team is about 6'8", 6'7", is it any surprise the Celtics won by virtually, they were up a 36 at one point and won by 27 points? No. Is it any surprise that the second best player on the court tonight, actually, in my opinion, the best player on the court tonight was Robert Williams, who was a good 3 inches taller than the next closest guy on the court. Robert Williams came off the bench 19 minutes, 7 of 7 from the floor, 13 rebounds, 16 points, 3 blocks. That shouldn't surprise you, considering, one, how Robert Williams has been playing this year, and two, the team that he was playing against. He was more athletic than anybody they had on their team and bigger than anybody they had on their team. He should have dominated, and he did. Jaylen Brown had a really good game for himself, 24 points, 2 rebounds, only had to play 27 minutes. Kemba Walker was fine tonight, 16 points, 5 assists, 6 boards, 3 of 7 from 3, 4 of 11 from the floor. Daniel Tice only played 6 minutes. Jason Tatum, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, only had to play 28 minutes. And Tristan Thompson, only 18 minutes, 13 rebounds, and 8 points. Again, the rebounds were going to go heavily in the Celtics' favor because this Houston team not only doesn't have anybody tall, they don't have anybody any good. So that shouldn't surprise you at all. Off the bench, the Celtics got really good contributions. Everybody played in this game. That's not hyperbole. And everybody on the Celtics played in this game. And in fact, the minimum amount of minutes somebody got was Daniel Tice with 6, who started. Even Javonte Green, he got 7 minutes. Taco got 9. Grant Williams got 8. Nesmith got 9. You saw a good contribution. Everybody except for Javonte Green and Daniel Tice scored. As I mentioned, Rob Williams big off the bench, but you also got 9 points from Ojale, who was 3 of 6 from 3. You got 6 points from Taco at the end. You got 9 points from Pritchard, 3 of 5 from 3. By the way, speaking about Pritchard, I really, really like Pritchard's chemistry with Rob Williams. They have, and I've said this before, they have tremendous chemistry. Pritchard uses his speed and sort of his limited stature to sort of sneak under the defense and find either Rob for a lob pass or a nice pocket pass in the paint. They work really well together. It's a strong unit right there. So there's not too much you could talk about in a blowout like this, other than, like I said in the tweet, we know Houston's going to be bad for a while. They're going to be terrible. This roster isn't an NBA roster. They're clearly in tank mode, and nobody would say otherwise. And so the Celtics did what they should do, which is kick the crap out of this team. Anything else would have been something that we would talk about a lot more, because it would be an much more alarming sign. So I don't think you can learn much about the Celtics other than it was good to see them not play down to their opponent and take care of business. And I think what we're learning too more and more is that there is becoming less and less of a reason for Brad Stevens to not start Rob Williams. And if I'm Rob Williams, I'm getting more and more frustrated the better and better I play and the less and less my role changes. So I still think that Brad needs to make that change. And if I'm a guy in the locker room, I'm saying that, I like Tice, I like Thompson, they're fine, but I mean, Rob is constantly outplaying them in less minutes per game. That's my biggest takeaway is Rob Williams continues to play really well, and his role continues to be the exact same, which for a young player who has still a lot of potential ahead of him, I'd like to see him be rewarded for his strong play on the court. So we'll see. It's going to get a lot tougher for the Celtics from here. They don't play a team as nearly as bad as Houston in the near future. We have the Jazz next, who obviously have the best record in the NBA. And that game is on Tuesday on national television. So that will tell you a whole lot more about this Celtics team in the second half of the season than that game we saw tonight against the Rockets. So it's Tuesday against the Jazz, Wednesday, Cleveland, Friday, Sacramento, Sunday, Orlando, and then a ton of games coming up that following week at Memphis, twice in a row at Milwaukee, and then at Oklahoma City. So busy week, busy times coming up for the Celtics, which is nice because that just gives me lots of stuff to do. Going to be watching the tournament too, so a ton of basketball. This couldn't be a better time for a basketball fan. There'll be so much going on. You won't be able to turn on your TV without seeing basketball, which is exactly how I like it to be. So nice blowout win tonight. Didn't learn too much other than we learned the opponent, the Houston Rockets, are a garbage team. See if the Celtics can take a blowout win and try to apply the positives of it. Rob Williams playing well, Peyton Pritchard playing well, to the game against the Jazz for an actual test against an actual really good team, and see how they come out. I'll be here right after that game, probably in the upstairs studio, because that's an upstairs studio type game. This is a downstairs studio, low tech type game, Jazz game, high tech type game. So thanks everybody for watching. Remember to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, imaginary animals, imaginary friends, neighbors, convicts, doesn't matter. Tell anybody to watch and comment. I'll always comment back. And enjoy the rest of your evening, everybody. I'll see you after the Celtics and Jazz game. Peace.